Alright, so here's my first version of the floor plan. And what we want to do is we're going to take paint and we're basically going to sketch this out in the snow, make sure that my room dimensions are kind of what I want. Nothing's like finalized on this. The other thing that I realize is I want to make sure that when this is built, the well casing here is going to be between the two big bay doors. This tree out because it was in the way. And I was kind of bored, wanted to play with it. But Daniel came back here one day, cut all these trees down for me, and then me and him just spent the day cleaning up all the brush, which was that big pile I pushed over. And there's, don't get me wrong, there's still more to go, but we put a couple hours into it today, and everything's manageable. You can walk back through here now. Well, everything that I'm walking on here, this whole, this drops off, well, a good 12 foot down there at that edge. And as far as you can see down, I call this my upper yard, and this is gonna become a lower yard. So this is getting excavated out, hopefully next week or two. Probably about 2 weeks I'll start, if my machine's back together. So this whole thing's gonna be excavated out, and it's gonna be level with the driveway down there. So I have a lot of dirt to move. This is just some firewood I'm going to chop up. We're giving it to a buddy. So I burn coal. Daniel, you ready to burn something?
Yeah, you.
I'm going to go get a glass of water. And then I got some old gas, some old diesel. Well, this is junk diesel. Long story. We're gonna dump it on there. We're gonna light it. It's already hot. We're about to make it a lot hotter out here. I wanted to take down this walnut here, but Daniel's concerned because I have a bunch of stuff down there. Like there's scrap. This is junk, cans, but there's also like heavy axles down here. Like that's my only concern. Yeah, in these weeds, there's some Rockwell axles out of $1.50. And, you know, this one's brand new. It's de-braked because I was building a monster truck, but then, like, I didn't finish it. It's a long story, but I'll probably build another one. That's why I have them. There's this huge root ball that I dug out from the shooting range. And I just pushed it over the hill here. It is too big for that backhoe to move it. That backhoe is old. It's worn out. It's underpowered. So this is where its resting place was. I got it down over the hill. And so we're just going to burn all of this. Man! Donald picked up that skid steer pretty quick and jumped in it, showed him what the controls were. Here he is dumping trash onto our fire pit. This is the fire we burned the other day. Well, we never finished burning it. And all the trash that didn't burn over the last year. Come forward! Yeah. He's nervous. You don't want to go down that embankment there. He's done alright. Playing it safe. But anyway, all that garbage didn't burn. We're gonna throw that in the fire. All right, I'm pretty sure this one's a breakdown. There's some tools laying on it because I was already working on it. So the issue with this is, and I'm just going to show you, and watch it makes me a liar right now. All we got is the starter clicking. So I've been charging the batteries up, and it still doesn't want to start. So I thought maybe the motor got water in it and hydro locked. So I took all of the glow plugs out of it. There's 4 glow plugs. And I come up here to the fan if I had room to turn it. The motor turns really easy. So even with having low amperage, that starter should be turning that motor really, really quick with no problem. Before I get too crazy into anything, we're gonna look at the batteries. More specifically, battery terminals. So here is my negative. You see it's loose. The other problem is this whole terminal's melted out. All right, so that thing's pretty screwed up. So I think what I'm gonna do, I think we're gonna cut it. We got 25 volts, 25.2 volts. All right, hit it. Go, off. Let off. Oh man. Yeah. Yep. Keep hitting it. Off, on, off. Wow, that's the easy one to get to. Oh yeah, I can't believe that moved. That easy, I should say. I don't know where that last one is. Should probably mention that when you're working with a starter, you want to remove your battery cables. I'm going to do this negative, and then this is a 24 volts. I'm going to go to the next one up, and I'm going to go ahead and just remove the positive of that side. So the batteries are completely disconnected. None of this, so I just have to pull one cable off. I ain't playing that game. I don't like electricity. Terrified of it, honestly. These are the ones I just did too. All right, we can go back to working on this starter. Oh, I'm glad they gave me plenty of extra cable there. Damn. Alright, that's one wire I couldn't get to. I don't even know if the camera's showing it. Don't fall down there. Oh. This thing's heavy. That was the worst part of it right there. Oh, Delco Remy numbers. So there's a Delco Remy number. I got a model number. The serial I can't read. I can read the voltage, and that's about it. Yes, I'm looking for a starter. It's for a piece of equipment, so you're not going to have it like by vehicle, but I have serial numbers because it's a Delco Remy number. Well, actually what I have is a model number. I cannot read the serial. This thing's from like the 60s, okay? I think it's a 40MT is the serial, but I'm not positive on that. What I have is a model number, and that is 1114143. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a replacement for this. Yeah, they're not gonna have the same starter. And I'm not lifting this big of one back in the machine either. All right, yeah, what's that replacement number? Is that what it is? It's a 40MT? Okay, I couldn't read the second number on there, and it looks like a 0, but that actually gives me a lot of information too, so. Like 500 bucks, I'm gonna get it cheaper. All right, so new starter came in today. Things I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it to be as big as the old one. I thought it'd be quite a bit smaller. And that's just through experience of every time I replaced the starter came out about half, if not less than the size of the one I took out an old piece of equipment. This is not, so I went to Delco Remy and I put all the information in, and this starter's obsolete. The replacement starter they wanted was like 500 something bucks. And it was a 12 volt starter, and this is 24. This one, I got this cross-referencing numbers on good old eBay. Got that for 230 bucks, I think it was. And it is not the crossover number off the Delco site. But I did a bunch of measuring, and everything, you know, the teeth, same count, same spacing, same mesh, the throw between the cone and the gear, they all look the same. The only difference would be I don't know if anybody else is noticing this, but when I put this in, the solenoid is going to be to the bottom. But I was looking around, and I don't even know if I'm at the length in any wires. The only wire I think might come short is going to be the main power wire, which comes on here. But because I have to convert this whole thing over to a 12-volt system, where the battery wire comes up and goes way up to the top of the cab there, it's now going to go right to the back of the machine. So that'll give me a couple extra foot of wire. So if I have to, I can just loosen all of the brackets and pull that wire. So we'll have to find out. But I'm going to attempt to bolt this in, and I really wish I had a second person here so I could hold it in there and have somebody throw some bolts in for me. But I don't have that privilege today, so I'm going to have to do it by myself. So that's the power wire that comes off the starter, is going up to the second battery. So I feel like I saved a lot of time by not including that battery in this whole shebang. Now, if I don't have enough amperage, what I'll do is I'll use jumper cables to hook up the other battery for now, just until I know this thing's gonna start. And then I can make some kind of wiring connection so you have that other battery. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to work. That noise you heard was because I have all the glow plugs out. Glow plugs look like that. The reason being is I want to make sure that we weren't hydro locked. I think I can put glow plugs in here and this thing will start. There's a store I go to and they just got like a little bit of everything, and I don't know, I guess they just buy junk in bulk and they sell it. So I found this cable. Who knows what it was supposed to be to. There's part numbers on here. I noticed was it had these ends on this, and this is going to go down on the starter. The only problem is I need to drill that out a little bit bigger. But then I even have this nice boot, and it's going to go right over that bolt in the bottom of the starter. Since it's not really covered right now, it'll save my wires. This end will just get cut, and I'll just put a terminal on there. And see, I don't like terminals because like every terminal I buy is a piece of junk and breaks. But I haven't tried these yet, and these look like they're a little bit better. They're about $1 more, and this thing should be nice to start again. No more fiddling with it. I mean, I lose every time I start the backhoe. I'm dealing with it for 15-20 minutes trying to get the thing to start. So that saves a lot of time, and I won't be so hesitant to go start it now. Just jump in, hit the button. Alright, full disclosure, this ain't the right size socket, but it's right enough to get the job done here. Oh shit. Well, I thought that hole was big enough. It's not started evenly, I guess. The only thing I don't like about these batteries being way down in this hole is there's a lot to ground your tools to when you're putting them together. Makes you very nervous. The fuel's off, the pump's off, it's not going to start. Perfect. Alright, that's the way it's supposed to be working. Pump's off, fuel's off, it's not going to start right now. But before, it just click, 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 and to keep wiggling wires around. That other wire was junk, that terminal was junk. It was going to start shorting some stuff out soon. So, you know, I don't know, I spent 15 bucks maybe on that fix. But that's something, that's just maintenance stuff as goes bad. So that wasn't a breakdown because I could still get things started if I had to, but it's just a pain. So I kind of got my skid steer stuck a little bit, and I kind of want to stop messing with it before I make it worse, because this is what I was pushing down. It's super soft and my tire kind of spun a little bit, but right past these weeds, a bit of a drop off, and I kind of feel like I can skid it out with the machine a little bit. At the same time, I kind of don't really think breaking stuff with this. And this happens. I think it's self-started. That tire's kind of sunk down in there, so kind of get some change on the machine. Alright, so I missed filming a couple things, and the reason being is the camera was the last thing on my mind. Yeah, I was sitting in the house, but I didn't grab it. So what happened was I was running this loader, and the motor started to get louder. There was a knock, actually it was more of a chatter. And another thing that happened was I started seeing smoke push out the front of it. Now the smoke was just exhaust when a exhaust clamp broke, and I fixed that. It was about a 20-cent fix. But while I was doing that, I had the loader shut down and looked, and we lost quite a bit of oil. I started doing a little bit of investigation on it, and my dad came up and he listened to it, and he pretty much knew right away that it was rocker chatter. So what I did was I removed the breather here, then I went ahead and I removed the cover to the rockers, the valve cover, rocker cover, whatever you want to call it. All right, and then from there I pulled the whole valve, or the whole rocker train out, and what I found was that the bushings inside of the rockers and the rocker shaft were both scored up and pretty damaged, and there's also some pretty scored up around the rocker stands, the shaft stands, but we're going to reuse them anyway. I don't think I'm going to get bushings for that. It'll be alright. So now I'm just waiting for my parts to come in, and I tell you what, I'm very impressed with Cat. I called Cat, gave them the serial number for this loader, and they were able to track down the parts for me in about 10 minutes. I don't know if you can tell or not, but right here on the inside, that's a hole for oil. Right there, it's a hole for oil. So it's important to line them up. I don't know if this is how this is supposed to go down, but we're going to try it anyway. The idea of putting it in the freezer is that the steel will contract. So if they're both contracted, and they're both cold. Oh yes sir. The idea is that they're both contracted. Maybe these ball ends will just hammer in here. I think that worked. It helps when you have the camera face the right way, the right angle. I think this seemed to work here. Oh, that one definitely sunk in there. Now, I probably could have done that without putting the refrigerator first, but I don't know. Look at this. Now we got a flute. We can play some Jethro Tull. I do like Jethro Tull. I already went and adjusted all the valves on it after I redid them rockers. Two of them were pretty far off, but I'm no longer thinking that's a valve issue. It sounds to me like a piston's touching the head. Just through problem solving with some guys. So, I guess I'm at the point to tear apart the bottom end of the motor. But I don't have time for that right now. I don't know. So I still have about 5 foot to go. Got the first 10 foot off, or about 15 foot deep is what this is going to be. And I'm out of time. It should have been done at least a month ago, if not 2 months ago. But with the machine not running right, can't run it at all. Kind of puts me in a situation. I have a bee chasing me right now. There he is. So I gotta tear it apart and see, make sure like the crank ain't destroyed. It might not even be worth fixing. And I haven't been able to find another motor for it. So I can either go buy another crawl loader to get this job done, but I might just make some phone calls and call in some favors and get some bigger machines in here and then just get it wrapped up in like a day or two. Get a couple people on this because I'm out of time.